Check out what Michaela has to say.
I don't know if you're gonna see this, but you mean so much to me. Growing up, when I struggled really bad with depression and anxiety, I would watch your show, and it like literally saved my life so many times. So the second time I'm crying over Joanna. It means so much to so many people, including me.
Where are the tears?
Just made my whole fucking day.
She's like trying to cry, but she's not.
Get ready with me to get my shit together.
40 plus videos in 12 days. Yeah.
My skin. Time to get my act together. I want to do a little self-care day, trying to get myself together a little bit more. And
You've been doing that every day.
Freshly tinted my brows yesterday.
Go look at the dates and the times of all of her recent last 40 plus videos.
I saw a fucking red and possible crying myself to sleep every night. I'm still gonna try and do what I like. I'm gonna use the ABH Fall Romance Palette, Baddie Mode, Activated. I just say, it has been so interesting watching the public perception of me being sad. Like, just seeing everybody's opinions and shit.
Is it, Michaela? Is it?
Set up a tripod. It takes 2 seconds to set up a tripod. And I'm a content creator. We create content with tripods. I feel like people who did not watch my old content.
Yeah, but depression is a different thing.
At the beginning, yeah, that content could seem like out of left field, but that was my old content. I'm very vulnerable and open about my shit. You know, like, I'm not telling you exactly what's going on because I literally can't. But I will when I can. I enjoy making content so much, but I'm like not okay. So it's half me to like sit in front of the camera and be like, let's do a makeup tutorial. And, like,
What are you doing right now?
Just, like, being real about how I'm feeling and still trying to keep going. And literally, who's forcing you to watch it? I don't know why.
Nobody. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The thing is with Americans, there's a lot of people that have a superior IQ out here. And you can't literally play us for dumb because we're not dumb.
I'm so freaking sick for that. I have to say, I think y'all just want to hate me so bad. People that just refuse to see me.
No, people hate your behavior.
No matter what. And then you have people who are like, oh, she can't be sad because she's rich. I agree with that to an extent. But like, if my mom died tomorrow, I'm not going to be fucking, oh my god, I'm rich. I'm fine. Like, what do you mean? Someone who went from poor to rich, I promise.
That didn't happen. So
Then you have people who are saying,
you're talking rhetorical and hypothetical.
what am I only allowed to be sad for that 24 hours? For mad
No,
shit,
it's the lying about it.
be like this fat minute.
It's the making it up and the exaggerating it.
You know what? 2 minutes and 17 seconds in, and you're a hater. You're a fan. You're a fan. I love you. Anyways, I appreciate all the hot takes. It's very good entertainment. I'll block you if I think your take is ridiculous. That is my right as a human being. I'm not asking for you to feel bad. Like, you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch. I just post what is going on in my life presently. And this is it. So many people are like, because she's like setting up the tripod and the lights and like, that I need to be in a psychiatric hospital. Like, guys, I'm content. Relax. People post eating videos all the time. I do it and I need to be in a psychiatric hospital. Like, what?
No, it's the amount of videos where you're boohooing about how horrible your mental health has been. That is why people are saying that you need real help. And the fact that you haven't gotten real help is a result of your mental health obviously is not as bad as you're saying.
Are we okay? Are we okay? Let me tell you something. Sadness is not one definition, okay? There are going to be days where I'm not going to take a shower, I'm not going to get out of bed, I'm not going to change my freaking underwear, okay?
Yeah, sadness is one definition. It means what it means, and that's it. You mean that the effects of it are not.
Why people are putting it in a box. Today, I woke up and I said, I can do this today. It doesn't mean I'm not going to cry myself to sleep later on, you know, but I can still do it. But it's like we preach and preach.
That should be a red flag to you that you need help.
Mental health until we act. Until we act. Once we
No, it's until people say go get help and you're not doing it.
reel it in, shut your mouth. It doesn't make any sense.
Which that tells us one of two things.
Not get my lip line up.
You're not as bad as what you're saying,
Come on. What the fuck?
or
I'm
two,
rude and a damn cat trying to open it. I had to change it.
you just don't care.
Back flesh pot and the
So if you don't care about your own mental health, how can anybody else?
like, don't post about how you feel unless you want speculation. I don't care if you speculate. I literally don't care. Say whatever you want. Say what you think his accent. I don't care. Go ahead.
She don't care because she don't even watch that shit anyway.
I don't seek that shit out.
She don't seek that shit out, y'all.
It is interesting to see what people think it is.
Some of what she says I agree with, some I do not. But this is what happens when content creators fake depression. They are intentionally exaggerating or lying about experiencing symptoms of depression to gain attention, sympathy, or engagement from their audience, often for personal gain, even though they may not actually be struggling with a mental health condition, or they're struggling with a mental health condition as much as they're trying to lead you on to believe that they are. This practice is also referred to as malingering. Motivation, seeking more views, followers, a specific image by playing viewers' empathy towards depression, harmful effects. This can trivialize real depression, discourage people from seeking help, and spread misinformation about mental health awareness too. How it may manifest, sharing exaggerated stories about depressive episodes, using dramatic language, or portraying a constantly sad persona. And we see this among people whose views start to plummet. Like she's getting 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and now she's getting, up to 8 million, 10 million, even 18 million on some of these videos. And the fact that it all sprung with one video talking about how her year of 2024 was not a great year. Go to her Instagram right now. I showed it in my other video. She does an entire video about how 2024 was one of the best years she's ever had. And I played that picture in picture on my other video purposely so people can understand that what she's saying and what she's showing are two totally different things. The thing also is in the beginning of the video when she's fake crying and she's trying really hard to squeeze out a tear and she can't even manage one, she goes on to talk about how when she was a teenager, she struggled with anxiety and depression. First of all, that right there tells me that you don't even have generalized anxiety disorder or clinical depression, because anxiety and depression are not the same thing. To say it clumped together like that pisses me off to no extent. Because when you have generalized anxiety like I do as a teenager, and you are misdiagnosed with depression and you are put on antidepressants, you are being, first of all, treated for something you don't have, and then they're misunderstanding what you do have. So when people say depression and anxiety or anxiety and depression, as if it is one thing. It is not. They are two totally separate things. They don't go hand to hand. Sometimes they do for people. Sometimes people that have clinical depression or seasonal depression sometimes have generalized anxiety disorder too, or they may have symptoms of anxiety. But when people do that, it really off because it is like saying it's one thing. And that tells me that you don't suffer from it in a clinical way, that you see a doctor or you're being treated or you're seeking mental health services like you should. But the whole problem is that you're doing over 40 plus videos in 12 days time. You're still doing makeup content. You're still doing content, but then yet you're in a bed saying that you can't do content for days, which was a lie because you were clearly posting content, and you can tell that it's new and not old reused videos that you filmed and never posted, because you can tell by the date, the clothing, the makeup, you can tell by the aesthetics of the background, all of that. So that is BS. She is intentionally misleading her following for the views, because that negative, oh, I'm in a really bad space mentally, well, then that would warrant, okay? We could see if you're having a bad day, you're having a bad week. But when that becomes a bad month, when it becomes a bad 2 months, that's when people need to really look inward and say, okay, now it's time for me to seek psychiatric help. And that would be a golden opportunity for you to then actually tell your followers and be transparent about how you're getting mental health help and what you're doing, where you're going, and actually be able to help other people. Encourage them to do the right thing. But the fact that you're making excuses is just telling us that it's because it's not as bad as what you're trying to make people believe it is. And that is malingering, and that is bad. I think a lot of her issues have to do with TikTok is her best platform, and she gets paid the most, and she gets the most undisclosed brand deals from it. And if you don't know, TikTok is making their arguments today at the Supreme Court, and you can watch live updates on USA Today's website. And whether you like Trump or not, chances are he's not going to enforce this when he gets into office on January 20th. And it has nothing to do with free speech. It has to do with national security. She may lose her biggest platform.